Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about some rare mobs that are really good when it comes to making gold in World of Warcraft and especially in Dragonflight. So this is the part 2 of the previous video I published a month ago, and so I would recommend you to also go and have a look at this overlist because these were the most interesting rares that, in my opinion, you should definitely farm. And now I want to provide you with a new list with 10 new rares that are also really good. Just before I start, I would highly recommend you to get the add-on rare scanner because as you can see, basically then you will be able to see on the map where are all the different rares and also what are the different loots that they will drop. So this is something you can download very easily, and then when you have it, you really just want to go there and normally you will be able to see all these different rares. And like that, it will make farming these different rares super easy for you. So let's start with our number 10. And at number 10, we're gonna have all the different rares from the different Primal invasions in the Dragon Isles. So as you can see, for instance, there is one right now, the Elemental Storm. And the one thing that is interesting with these different events is the fact that you will be able to kill different rares during the event, and all of them have a very small chance of dropping some really interesting items, included this design right here, the design for the Elemental Laria. So while this item is worth millions of gold, as you can see right now, it's probably around 2 million gold on average on European realms, and it has a pretty good sell rate. This is a very rare drop, and so this is why I'm only putting it at number 10 on this list, because unfortunately this is probably one of the most difficult items to get in Dragonflight, and therefore even though you can farm it by killing all these different rares during the Primal invasions, it's still very difficult to get. One very important thing to keep in mind is the fact that you don't need jewel crafting in order to farm this item. So on any of your characters, when you're doing these different invasions and you're killing the different rares, you will have a chance at getting this design. Also keep in mind you will get tons of other items when doing these different farms, including some currencies that you can then use in order to buy some mounts and other type of items. So definitely this is not a waste of time. But if your sole purpose is to get the design, the Elemental Laria, definitely you will need to spend quite a lot of time before you have a chance at getting it. And also for this item, if you manage to get your hands on it, I would highly recommend you to try and sell it on a high pop realm, because if you're paying on a low pop realm, most likely you're going to struggle a little bit to sell it. So with cross-realm trading, you can easily trade it or transfer it to another realm, and try to pick one where there is not a lot of competition and where the value is really high, and hopefully you will be able to sell it for millions of golds. After that, at number 9, we're gonna have all the different rares, or at least some of the rares that you can kill during the different Nzoth assaults. And so this is something that is linked to Battle for Azeroth, and basically you will have 2 main zones that will have some of these assaults. First, you will have the Veil of Eternal Blossoms in Mist of Pandaria, and then also you will have Uldum here, as you can see. One thing to note is basically each week you will have different assaults in each of these zones. When there is the assault, the Black Empire, it means that for the entire week, this will be the same assault in this zone, and then in the other zone, you will be able to get the 3 other assaults, so they change every 2 or 3 days. And so this is the way it works. So not all of them will be interesting because you're only after the rares that can actually drop some expensive pets. So as you can see, for instance, in Uldum, you will have, so for instance, the assault with the Black Empire that is currently live, you will be able to kill the Amalgamation of Flesh, and you will be able to get the Weak Lurker pet. Then when there is the Akir Unearthed assault, you will be able to kill Lord Ashkiraj and get Rot Breath. And then you will also be able to kill this guy right here and get the Black Chitinous Plate. So this one is probably the most expensive out of all these different pets. It costs on average probably like 150 to 200,000 gold very easily. Then when there is the assault, the Amet Advanced, there is unfortunately no rares that are really worth killing in order to make some gold. And then in the Veil of Eternal Blossom, so the most interesting one is the assault, the Black Empire. And basically here you will want to kill the Forgotten that will have a chance at dropping Cuddly, and also the Will of Nzoth that will have a chance of dropping the Corrupted Tentacle. And then as you can see, the two other ones, the Warring Clans and the Endless Swarm, sadly won't have any rares that will drop pets, but of course you can get then a lot of different mounts and over transmog items. So it's still worth doing, but if you're only after these different pets and after making some gold, then these are the main ones you want to focus on. And so basically, just to show you in the Veil of Eternal Blossom, when the Black Empire Assault will be up, you will be able to find the Will of Nzoth right here. And also the Forgotten will be on a platform in the sky located around here. And then for the one in Uldum, so you will have Lord Akiar. It will be located right here underneath this main building. And then for the Amalgamation of Flesh, it will be located right here in this part of the city. One important thing to note is that you will only be able to access the different assaults from Battle for Azeroth if you've accomplished all the different quests in order to unlock these different assaults. So it's maybe something that will take a little bit of time, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth doing. And also, again, as I mentioned, you can get tons of different mounts, transmog items, toys, and everything by doing these different assaults. One thing that you need to make sure is that you are in the present time. So here, as you can see in Uldum, you will be able to talk to Zidormi and to ask to be brought back in the current time. And same where you're in the Veil of Eternal Blossom, you just want to go here in the middle of the map. And then normally here you will be able to talk to someone else that will also transport you back into the present time. Just to give you a good example again, so with Rod Breath, as you can see right now in European realms, the average value is 185 to 212,000 gold. And then on North American realms, it's actually 692 to 600,000 gold for some reason. So as you can see, the minimum price probably on US realms is going to be 269,000 gold. So trust me, if you manage to get your hands on this pet, you will probably be able to make a lot of gold. After that, at number 8, we're gonna have a rare that you will be able to find in the Western Plaguelands, and this rare will be located at the entrance of Scholomance, and this is Putridus. So as you can see, this is a rare that will literally just be at the entrance. It's very easy to find, and the reason why we want to kill Putridus is simply because he has a small chance at dropping this recipe right here, the recipe for the Gift of Arthas. And this is something that sells pretty well, and especially with a really good sell rate. As you can see, on average on European realms right now, this recipe will have a value of 220 to 240,000 gold. And then on North American realms, it's going to be 303 to 547,000 gold on average. So definitely a lot of gold. One thing that I want to highlight is the fact that you have also these different rares that have a very, very small chance of dropping this recipe. So when you're in the Western Plaguelands, you can also just go around and kill these 4 different rares. And like that, maybe you will have a better chance at getting this recipe. Then at number 7, we will have another rare that you will be able to find in the Eastern Kingdoms. And this time it will be in Westfall. And this rare is Leprithus. So one thing that is very interesting with this rare is that it will only spawn, I believe, once per day, and it always spawns at the exact same time. So if you want to kill it, you will have to go to Westfall, and normally it spawns at 8 PM. So of course, you need to check your time zone in order to make sure that you're killing it at the right time. And the reason why we want to kill this rare is simply because you will be able to get this really cool sword right here, as you can see, and also this pair of gloves, but especially the most interesting one is definitely the sword. So as you can see on European realms, there's only 10 available and they're selling on average for 80,000 gold. I'm pretty sure that's the same person farming them and selling them on all these different realms. And then on North American realms, it's going to be between 842 to 1 million gold for some reason. Of course, you have different type of eye level, but here with the main ones, these are the average values. After that, we have another interesting rare from the Eastern Kingdom, and this time, this one will be located in Dunmorrow and more specifically in New Tinkertown. And as you can see, it will be Gibblewilt. So it will be located not far from the entrance from Gnomeregan. And as you can see, you can really find him pretty easily, especially if you're playing on a low pop realm or a medium pop realm. So we want to kill this rare because he will have a chance at dropping these two items right here, the 4-man vest and also the 4-man pants. So as you can see, these are two cloth items. Both of them have unique appearances and they can really sell for a lot of gold. So on average, on European realms, this one will go for 78 to 135,000 gold, and on North American realms, 125 to 282,000 gold. And the main reason why some of these different items, same with the ghoul thing that we talked about just before, are so expensive is simply because they were removed from the game since probably Cataclysm until a few patches ago in Dragonflight. And so people can now start to farm these items again. And so a lot of collectioners have been waiting in order to be able to purchase these items, and that's why they're selling for that much gold. After that, we're gonna have a bunch of rares that I already talked about in many videos, and all of them will be located in the Blasted Lands in the Eastern Kingdoms. So here again, if you want to find these different rares, you want to go and talk to Zidormi at the entrance of this area, and you want to ask to be brought back before the invasion. So in total, as you can see, you will have 14 of these different rares, and they're located all around the map. And normally, especially if you have your dragon riding mount, it's very simple. You just want to go from one to another, and like that, you will be able to probably kill all of them in just a few minutes. And what's interesting with these different rares is the fact that I can drop these two items right here, the Flawless Draenitis Spear and also the Imperfect Draenitis Fragment. So both of these items are quest items, and basically when you accept the quest that you can complete multiple times at the same time, you will be able to go talk to that guy that will be located around here, and then this guy will reward you with some emerald encrusted chests and also some over little bags for the green version of the quest item. But the one items that you're really after are the ones from the blue quest, the emerald encrusted chests. And inside these different chests, you will have a chance at getting a bunch of blue and epic BOEs from Vanilla WoW. And some of them can be really interesting, and you can then sell them on the auction house for quite a lot of gold. Then at number 4, we're gonna have another rare from Dragonflight, and this time this rare will be located in the Forbidden Reach, and this is Warden Entrix. So in order to access this rare, basically you will need to enter this cave, and then you will need to go up, use the different teleporters, and then like that you will be able at some point to access a room where the rare will be up, and then you can kill the rare. And so the reason why we are interested in this rare is simply because you will have a small chance at dropping a pet called Wakin, and you can then learn and cage this pet and sell it on the auction house for quite a lot of gold. So as you can see, for instance, right now, the sell rate for this pet is 0.06, which is really good. And on European realms, on average, it will sell for 65 to 84,000 gold, and then on North American realms for 101 to 109,000 gold. So this is really a pet that is pretty easy to get, and keep in mind you can kill this rare every day with all your different characters. And again, this pet sells really fast and also for quite a lot of gold. So definitely something I would recommend you to try. After that, at number 3, we're gonna have another rare that this time will be located in Kalimdor in the 1000 Needles, and this is this rare right here. I won't even try to pronounce the name. So basically, in order to find this rare, you will have to go and dive inside of the lake, and you will be able to find a rare at the bottom of the ocean floor. So normally, you should be able to find it pretty easily. The reason why we want to kill this rare is because he has a small chance of dropping this weapon right here, the Silhouetted Reaper. So as you can see, this is a unique appearance. And again, this is one of the different weapons and items that were removed from the game for a long period of time and now can be farmed again. And so for this reason, there's quite a lot of demand for it. On average, on European realms, this weapon will sell for 175 to 486,000 gold. And then on North American realms, it will be 275 to 638,000 gold. After that, we're gonna have at number 2 another very interesting rare from Kalimdor, and this time it will be Dr. Weavil that will be located in the Alcaz Island right here. So as you can see, you want to go in the island and you want to go in this specific building, and on the top floor of the building, you will be able to find this rare. The reason why we want to kill this rare is simply because you will have a chance of getting the big red ray gun toy, and you can then sell this toy on the auction house, and as you can see, it still sells for quite a lot of gold and pretty fast. Also, one thing that is interesting is the fact that you can basically just camp this rare and it will spawn maybe every 7 to 10 minutes, and you can kill it again and again and again, and each time you will have a chance at getting this toy. So on European realms, on average, you will be able to sell it for 19 to 18,000 gold, and then on North American realms, 23 to 21,000 gold. Finally, at number 1, we're gonna have another rare from the Eastern Kingdoms, and this time it will be located in the Cape of Stranglehorn, and this is Scale Belly. So in order to go and kill Scale Belly, you will have to enter this Crystal Vein mine, and as you can see, it will be spawned from time to time on this main platform inside of the cave. So when you kill Scale Belly, you will have a very small chance at getting this item right here, the Chromatic Sword, and this is definitely a weapon that can sell for a lot of gold. So again, this is something that was removed from the game back in Cataclysm and was reintroduced, I believe, in BFA or maybe a little bit before that. And since then, it has been an item that you can really farm and sell for a lot of gold. On European realms, on average, you will be able to sell the sword for 99 to 144,000 gold, and then on North American realms, 171 to 292,000 gold. And keep in mind, this rare will probably respawn every 1.5 to 3 hours, so it really depends. But this is the main information we have for Scale Belly. So these are the 10 rares that I wanted to mention in this part 2. Of course, there's still plenty of other interesting rares, and so let me know in the comments if you would be interested in a part 3. Now, I just want to provide you with a quick tips in order for you to make these different farms as efficient as possible. The first one is really when you're doing it, for instance, from one rare to another, what you want to do is try maybe to have War Mode on, and then when you're done doing your little routes, for instance, in the Eastern Kingdom, you can go remove War Mode on, and then try to find these different rares in War Mode off. This is something especially useful if you're doing a bunch of rares that are very close to each other. So for instance, all the different rares in the Blasted Lands, you can do this technique, and sometimes you will be able like that to kill 28 of these different rares in just maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Also, another very efficient technique for some of these different rares is simply to leave some of your alts where the different rares will spawn, and then to just log in from time to time in the day and see if they will be spawned or not. This is, for instance, what I've done so far with Scale Belly, and I've been able to get 2 Chromatic Swords. And I know a lot of people are doing the same technique, but for some of these rares, it's really the best way to farm them. And then finally, you also might want to get the add-on Gathermate, because simply sometimes you will be able to get some of the different chests that are available around some of these different rares, and inside these different chests you can sometimes get some really good loot that can also be sold on the auction house for a lot of gold. So you have this add-on right here, Gathermate, and then as you can see you will be able to see show treasure nodes. You always have to show, and like that you will be able to see all these different chests on your map. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime I wish you all a great day. Bye!